Okay, now we're going to talk about US dollars to other monies, and I do update these conversions every semester. So this is the current one. One of the things you need to understand, let's just look at euros to begin with. Which one is worth more? The dollar or the European euros? Well, it takes less European euros to make a dollar. So the euros are worth more than the dollar. The dollar is worth more than the Australian dollar, and definitely more than the Mexican pesos, which it usually is. It's more than the Canadian dollar. I didn't put the Japanese yen there. Sorry about that. It's more than it's yuan and then the ruble. Okay. You arrive in Paris with $800 American money. How many euros do you have to spend? So we start with what we're given, the $800, and we want to convert dollars to euros. All right, so we just need the conversion of $1 is equivalent to 0.88 euros. Multiplying straight across, my dollars are gone. I'm left with euros. So 800 times 0.88 is equal to 704 euros. That's how much you have to spend. Of course, on the exam, I'm looking for sentences, but I'm just trying to help you understand the conversions. All right, a bicyclist is traveling at 540 feet in 30 seconds. Express this as a rate and as a unit rate in feet per second. That means we want feet per over seconds. All right, so we just need to rewrite it. For a rate, you just rewrite it as 540 feet over the seconds, 30 seconds. And this is a rate. A unit rate is when the denominator is 1. So we have to divide. 540 divided by 30 is 18. So my unit rate is 18 feet per second. Okay, please make sure you be careful with what they want. Whatever is listed first is what's in the numerator. Whatever is listed after the per is in the denominator, and that's how they want it represented. All right. Your car can drive 380 miles on a tank of 22 gallons. That is a conversion. 380 miles is equal to 22 gallons. Okay. How far can it drive on 50 gallons? Start with what you're given. And we want to know how far we can go. And we want to round to the nearest hundredth. So get rid of your gallons, and we're going to go to miles. 22 gallons is 380 miles. Multiplying straight across, our gallons are gone. You've got 50 times 380 is 19,000 divided by 22. This is miles. And we're rounding to the nearest hundredth, so the second decimal place. So 863.636. So there's my rounding digit. 6 is my test digit. Because my test digit is greater than 5, I'm going to add 1 to my rounding digit. Remember, we don't use the words round up. It's not mathematical. So my total miles we can go on that is 863.64 miles. The next one is how many gallons are needed to drive 650 miles. Start with what you're given. We're going to use the same conversion rate from miles to gallons. And this is what I used on one of my labs to where you can actually find out the dollars, because once you find out the gallons, then you can say the dollar is $3.50 a gallon. You can find out how much it's going to cost to go 650 miles. All right, so gallons is 22 and the miles are 380. Multiplying straight across, miles are gone. 650 times 22 is 14,300. Divide that by 380 is 37.631. Again, rounding to the hundredth. There's my rounding digit. 1 is my test digit. Because 1 is less than 5, It just goes away and nothing happens to my rounding digit. So 37.63 is the number of gallons you'll use to go 650 miles. All right, let's talk time. We're going to use this. I'm not going to just convert one thing. So 60 seconds a minute. Please note the abbreviation: 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 52.18 weeks in a year. If you're doing your homework in mom, you have to use 52. This is what was given for our JCC department. That's what was decided as far as what was going to be utilized. 12 months in a year, 365 days in a year, and we'll never use, but 366 days in a leap year. A bicyclist traveling at 16 miles per hour, how many feet will it cover in 40 seconds? And we're going to round to the nearest tenth of a foot. So 16 miles per hour is a conversion. 16 miles is equal to 1 hour. All right, that's the conversion they're giving us that it's traveling at. And the question is for 40 seconds. So always start with what the question is. 40 seconds, how far can it go? But they want it in feet. Well, I can get to seconds to hours using seconds to minutes, minutes to hours. And then I can jump to my miles. And then miles I can get to feet by using the length portion of the American conversions. So starting with seconds to minutes, minutes to hours, and then we're going to have to come up here and use hours to miles. And then I want miles to feet. And the conversion for that is 1 mile is 5,280 feet. I do not expect you to have these memorized. They will be provided to you on the exam. Let's plug in our numbers now. There are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and then this conversion is 1 hour for 16 miles, and then 5,280 feet in a mile. Multiplying straight across, my seconds are gone, minutes are gone, hours are gone, miles are gone, and we're left with feet, which is what we wanted. 40 times 1 times 1 times 16 times 5280 is 3,379,200 over 60 times 60, 3,600. And this is feet. So we just need to divide this. And we want to round it to the tenth of a foot, so 1 decimal place. 938.66. There's my rounding digit. There's my test digit. Because my test digit is greater than 5, I add 1 to my rounding digit. So the bicycle, how many feet will it cover in 40 seconds? 938.7 feet. Okay. Car is traveling 33 miles per hour. So that's a conversion. 33 miles is equal to 1 hour. How many feet will the car travel in 6 seconds? Start with what you're given. We're going to do the same exact thing we did up here. And we're going to answer to the nearest tenth of a foot. I would like for you to pause the video and attempt this one yourself and then come back to see how you did. Okay. So we want to get rid of seconds, go to minutes, minutes to hours. Then we can go to the conversion given, hours to miles. And then we want feet, so miles to feet. Again, there's 5,280 feet in a mile. They're giving us 33 miles per hour. There's 60 minutes in an hour, and there's 60 seconds in a minute. Multiplying straight across, seconds are gone, minutes are gone, hours are gone, miles are gone. We're left with feet. 6 times 1 times 1 times 33 times 5,280 is 1,045,440 over 60 times 60 is 3,600. The rest are ones, and this is feet. So we just need to divide this. So 290.4. Don't have to round, it's already rounded for us. All right, the car traveling 60 kilometers per hour. Another conversion. How many meters does it travel in 4 seconds? Starting with what you have, 4 seconds. We want to get from seconds to hours, seconds to minutes, minutes to hours. And then we can go from hours to kilometers. Okay, we don't want kilometers. We want meters. So you'd have to relay back to your metric system to where you can find out that there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Okay, so we can go from kilometers to meters. Make sure everything crosses out properly before you add your numbers in. So 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 60 kilometers per hour, and then 1,000 meters for 1 kilometer. Multiplying straight across, seconds are gone, minutes are gone, hours are gone, kilometers are gone, left with meters. We've got 4 times 1 times 1 times 60 times 1,000 is 240,000 divided by, again, 3,600. And this is meters. Go ahead and divide that. And we get 66 point, we don't tell us what to round to. So let's just go ahead and round it to the 10th, which is the first decimal place. So the rounding digit is the first decimal place. The test digit is the second. Because it is greater than 5, you add 1 to your rounding digit. So 66.7 meters is how long it takes to travel in 4 seconds. Okay. A car is driving at 100 kilometers per hour. This looks to be the same type of thing. I'm going to want you to pause the video and attempt this one yourself. 100 kilometers is equal to 1 hour. All right, go ahead and pause the video and then I'll come back to see how you did. Come back and see how you did. How many meters does it travel in 2 seconds? The same exact problem. So we're going from seconds to minutes, minutes to hour, and then we can go from hours to kilometers, and we can go from kilometers to meters. We know there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. We're doing 100 kilometers per hour. There's 60 minutes in an hour and 60 seconds in a minute. Multiplying straight across, my seconds are gone, minutes are gone, hours are gone, kilometers are gone, left with meters, so we're golden. 2 times 1 times 1, 2 times 100 times 1,000 is 200,000 divided by 3,600 again, and this is meters, is 55. We're going to round to the 10th place again. There's my rounding digit. There's my test digit. My test digit is 5, so I'm going to be adding 1 to my rounding digit. So 55.6 meters. A chain weighs 10 pounds per foot. That's a conversion. 10 pounds equals 1 foot. I know it's conversion because of the word per. How many ounces will 4 inches weigh? So we start with 4 inches. I don't want inches. I need to get to foot so I can get to pounds. And then I can get to ounces. So I need to get rid of inches. I can go inches to feet because there's 12 inches in a foot. Again, you can acknowledge this on your American portion. And then we can go from feet to pounds. And then we can get from pounds to ounces because there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. All right, 16 ounces in a pound. And then we're doing 10 pounds per foot. And there's 12 inches per foot. Multiplying straight across, my inches are gone, feet are gone, pounds are gone, left with ounces. 4 times 1 times 10 times 16 is 640 over 12. And this is ounces. So divide that by 12. And I get 53.33. I'm going to round this to the 10th place. It doesn't tell me, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. There's my rounding digit. There's my test digit. Because my test digit is less than 5, it goes away and nothing happens to my rounding digit. So 53.3 ounces. again, finuses would need to be used. All right, that is the end of this video. I will see you in the next one.